It's another edition of Time About the Movies, and today we're taking a look at the movies of January 21st, 1994. Well, okay, technically one movie, because we actually have two movies to look at, and one of them I had no idea came out beforehand in 1993, but it got a wide release this weekend in 1994, so I'll throw that into the mix. But let's talk about the one new release that came out this weekend. Richard Gere, Sharon Stone, Lolita Davidovich, and Martin Landau starring in the thriller Intersection.
Something was going on.
I thought you were working late.
Perfect house for the perfect couple.
Didn't you touch me?
Tell you a secret. Wasn't so perfect. What happened with us?
You fell in love with another woman.
I mean, before that.
You don't live with her anymore, but your car still does. Is that it? What else do you leave there? A toothbrush?
My daughter. You had a family. We were a corporation with a kid.
Dad?
Yeah.
Will you come to the island with me for Easter?
You got a daughter in the house. You got Sally in the office. You got the girlfriend somewhere else.
I can't believe you had me down. Oh, history? We don't have a history. You can make one.
I say, are you in love with her? And then you say, well, I don't know. I'm so confused. I need a little time.
Megan, I'm not trying to replace anybody. I just want to make your father happy. We give it a shot?
Haley, if you just felt this a little more upset, it wouldn't have happened.
You want a dream house. You and me, one end, and then at the other end there's Sally and Megan.
Still have that hotel room? Hotel rooms could be nice. For past. For future.
I don't want to lose you. I can't lose you. I want to be with you. Whatever you're going to do, do it.
I'm sorry, but who the hell calls their family a corporation with a kid? Like, how much of a jackass do you have to be? And you really expect us to sympathize with you when you're in the situation that you put yourself into? It's just like, it's just one of the many, many reasons why this movie is such a disaster, because it is a terrible, terrible movie. It's just a movie it's just not interesting whatsoever. The thriller aspect is not there. This mystery about, oh, who was Vincent's true love? It's just like, well, considering that the fact that you have one kid with the one person that you're in love with, and you feel like that's not enough for you, you have to go find somebody else and have an affair with them. I'm sorry, dude. There's no sympathizing with you. You're just a complete asshole. And it's just, this whole idea makes no sense whatsoever. There's no engaging mystery to it. There's no engaging aspects to it. These people deserve a much better movie than this. Richard Gere, Sharon Stone, Lolita Davidovich, Martin Landau, Jennifer Morrison in one of her early film roles, playing the daughter in this. They all deserve a much better movie than this, and it's just not a good movie at all, because you really do not like any of these people at all. They are all horrible people. Even the person that you think you're supposed to sympathize with, they're horrible in their own ways that this movie completely spells out for you, and they don't care, because you're sitting down in the seat watching this movie with it, and Paramount's got your money for it. So it's just not a good movie. It's a movie that is the definition of a dump movie, because I'm sure there were some high aspirations for this, but of course Paramount saw it and said, nobody's going to go see this movie, so we're just going to throw it into January, because nobody's going to be stupid enough to see this movie. Well, I guess that's not kind of true, because it did make its money back, but it wasn't a huge hit, because nobody's putting out anything in early January except for shitty movies. So yeah, so we're starting 1994 off on a high note with that one. So that's Intersection. So let's go ahead and end this on a higher note. Let's go ahead and move on to one of the best movies from 1993 that actually came out this weekend, and that is Robert Altman's anthology called Shortcuts.
You know what kind of work I do, right? Look at me. You know it's dangerous. And you know there's things you can't know for your own safety, right?
I was just asking about dinner.
From the director of The Player.
Oh, but wait, make me beg for it. Oh, please, harder. Oh, I'm gonna come. Oh.
Did you give JoJo his eardrops?
Robert Altman brings us his visionary new film based on the writings of Raymond Carver, starring an ensemble cast of outstanding actors. Shortcuts raises the roof on America.
The hell with love.
Time to get off.
You know.
Shortcuts, a Robert Altman film.
It's practically totally real, but not.
So essentially, you have 9 short stories based off of the works of Raymond Carver. You can see in that trailer, there's a lot of really talented people that you are very familiar with. Matthew Modine, Julianne Moore, Fred Ward, Ann Archer, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Robert Downey Jr., Madeline Stowe, Chris Penn, Jack Lemmon, Frances McDormand, Laurie Singer, Andy McDowell, Buck Henry, Lily Tomlin, Annie Ross, Huey Lewis, Lyle Lovett, Tom Waits. Just this phenomenal cast that's involved in this movie. And it was coming after Robert Altman made probably one of his best movies from this time period, and that was the Player, which was a phenomenal movie. And this is pretty good too. You really do get invested in all of these stories that are taking place within the confines of the city. It kind of reminded me a lot of Grand Canyon from a couple years ago, a very underrated movie, and I think this one's kind of underrated too. I don't think it gets as much attention as some of the other movies that came out in '93, but it was a really solid film, and it was definitely one of the highlights of the year. They actually were going to do a sequel for this, but they eventually decided not to. And this writer who would write the sequel would later go on to direct a couple of other Altman movies, including Cookie's Fortune and Dr. T and the Women. And another interesting thing about this one is that he kind of went on a lull after this. There wasn't really a great Robert Altman movie from him after this until Gosford Park, which came out 8 years later. Actually, 7 years later, 1994, 2001. Yeah, 7 years later. So, it's a really good movie. If you haven't seen it, you're really missing out on one of Altman's best movies, honestly. Definitely check it out. Shortcuts, fantastic film. And so on that note, we wrap up another edition of Time About the Movies, and next time we'll wrap up January 94. We got 4 movies, including Madeline Stowe and the thriller Blink. Car 54, Where Are You?, based off the TV series. This was filmed back in 1990, coming out 4 years later, which should pretty much give you an indication of what this movie ends up becoming, but we'll delve more into that next time around. We'll also take a look at Golden Gate, and also Red Rock West. So, thank you for watching, and as always, if you want to see more videos like this, please hit the playlist on the next page, check out the previous episode, and I will see you guys tomorrow for another episode. So thank you for watching, I'll see you next time, and until then, as always, take care.